Erica, are you alive? Are you surviving? Are you thriving?
I'm not thriving. I am one step closer to the edge and I'm about to break. Like,
Yep, that sounds about right. That's about where I am. Yesterday I actually took the day off because I just was feeling so much angst and grief and anxiety. And I didn't
Mhm.
actually take off any time directly after the election. I just kind of like barreled through.
Mhm.
And then yesterday I hit a wall.
I had cleared my day the day after the election because I already knew. I was like, one of two things is going to happen here. I'm either going to be in celebration mode, so I'm not going to
Hmm.
be wanting to do things, or
Hmm.
I'm going to be in a full-fledged depression.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, it took the depression route. Um,
Right.
but I was lucky I didn't have to do a lot that day. I was
Yeah.
already pre-planned to chill out, but I was shocked.
Appalled, dismayed.
I've moved from shocked into I went from shocked, I hit angry, I
Hmm.
passed angry, and now I'm at terrified. So
Hmm.
that's
Yeah.
where I'm at.
Yeah. I think that's where I woke up yesterday and why I had to take the day off because
Mm-hmm.
it was just a combination of extreme sadness plus terror.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I hit a wall. And so I figured for today's episode, it's a Queen things. We'll do our
Mm-hmm.
updates, but really I just thought we could just let our feelings out. Why not?
Yes, I agree. I'm 100% down to let the feelings out. Mm.
Hello and welcome to Two Queens, Two Crowns. I'm your host, KJ Miller, founder, lecturer, and content creator.
I'm your host, Erica Manganelli, pop culture humorist and content creator.
And today on the show, we are dissecting the bullshit that is
That
American
right.
politics and the election. I guess we'll also go through a few updates, and we did get a few comments on our Nikki and Meg episode, although I think the world was too busy processing the election to give our little episode too much thought. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we'll go through the comments. We'll see what the
Which
folks
is
are saying.
fair. You guys get a pass.
You get a
I
pass.
like you texted me last week and you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get this episode out. And I was like, girl, don't even do it. Don't even
I
do it.
know.
We deserve a pass, a life pass for the day. Like
I know.
it's not good. The world's not gonna end because of the podcast, at least. Might end
That's
because of
true.
other things.
Exactly. You're exactly right. And I almost didn't. And then I
Mm.
woke up on Thursday morning or maybe it was, I forget, but I woke up and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get this podcast out because 2 seasons in, however many episodes deep, 30 episodes or something deep, I still have never not put one out on time. And I am not going to let
Mm-hmm.
Donald fucking Trump be the reason that I ruin
Yes.
my streak.
No, I love
So
it. Gotta power through. Like everybody
power
was
through.
asking me, what are you doing? And I'm just like powering through. Like the day after the election, I didn't want to put like funny content up. Like if you follow me, you already know I didn't put funny content up that next morning because I'm like, nothing is funny. I'm sorry, guys. I can't make a single joke. So then I was
Yeah.
just making videos that were just like, let's eat food and power through. I did a live where we were like walking because I'm just like, should we walk? I think we need endorphins. I don't know what else to say or do.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We're all just figuring it out. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing on this episode right after this. All right, let's jump into these comments. Like I said, I think people were a little overwhelmed and not that many people had a chance to listen to last week's episode. I am going to encourage everyone to go back and listen because I think it's a pretty good one. But there was one commenter in particular who did watch and did have a lot to say. Her name is Brittany Volkwin, and she watched over on YouTube. And she left us not one, not two, but 7 comments.
Brittany wanted to be seen, and Brittany, we've seen you.
We've seen you, girl. So I'm just going to read all 7 of them.
Read them. Let's unpack them all. Let's go.
Okay. She starts by saying, Nikki doesn't beef with everybody. Everybody beefs with her. Then she says, the white lady just hates Nikki. I think she means you.
Oh, that's me?
I think she
Shit. Okay. Damn. Okay. Shit.
I don't know why she would think that about you and not me. I feel like we
have the same exact opinion.
Yeah, we have the same takes.
No, it's fine. Everyone hates white women right now, and it's understandable. It's understandable. These comments came directly after this election.
Yeah, you're catching some strays here.
Yeah, it's okay. I get it.
Okay, then she continues. You were wrong. Megan did diss Nicki multiple times before Fuck the Club Up, Red Ruby to Sleaze, and Seeing Green. Nicki was the one not taking the bait until Seeing Green. Mind you, Megan had been dissing her since 2020, and Nicki finally responded with Seeing Green, and they went back and forth throwing disses at each other. Now, if that's the case, she did not cite her work here or her sources. So I can't think of any raps where she was dissing Nicki, but maybe, Brittany knows something we don't know.
Brittany, we're going to need a work cited.
We're going to need a work. I mean, I feel like we cited our sources. So.
We did. and we are not opposed to changing our opinion if you present us with evidence. So
exactly.
Hit us with a work cited.
Hit us with this. Because do you know what else? Even in Hiss, there are people who say when she dropped that Megan's Law bar, she still wasn't even referring to Nicki. A lot of people think she was referring to Drake, because as we know, a lot of people think Drake has an issue with underage girls.
Yeah.
So
I could see that.
I could see that. So, but anyway, now she continues. The only reason Hiss went #1 was because Nicki gave it attention. Nicki was going on a whole rant about it. After Nicki was quiet, the song was free falling from the charts and started flopping.
Again, I feel like I'm going to need evidentiary support for this, because I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't think that that's true. I think that people thought the song was great because it was a great song and a great diss track. And I think it certainly spent at least a week at #1, possibly 2 or 3, which is typical for most #1s. It's actually pretty rare these days that a song stays at #1 for more than like a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Even Taylor Swift, who by and large owns the Billboard charts and the Grammys and everything else, I think Fortnite spent maybe a week or 2 at #1. So like it's actually not that common. All right. Then she says, it's always make Nicki the bad guy until the truth comes out. Mind you, Nicki might tell you a joke, but never a lie.
Okay.
To
that, I say I'm starting to feel like we got off easy with this episode being right after the election, because only one Nicki stan came out. That's it. This could have been like 10 Britneys.
Right, exactly. We only got one Britney, so you're right. Maybe we should just be counting our blessings here.
I'm counting mine.
But she's not done. Britney continues. She says, by the way, Nicki wrote Bigfoot in less than 24 hours. It was just a warning to Megan. She thought Megan to respond so she could drop the real diss track. Megan wrote Hiss for months. Now, to that I would say,
you can tell.
First of all, if it was written in 24 hours, why did it take her 3 days later to drop it? I don't think it was written in 24 hours.
No, I think some of it was written on that live stream, and you can tell.
Yeah, I think she may have written the best bars in 24 hours, but if it was written in 24 hours, and it took 3 days to drop, no. So I think she had a good 72 hours, but however long it took, she should have taken longer.
I know. I was about to say, I don't feel like that's a flex. I feel like it was a rush. Yeah. Like, what?
It sounded rushed. Okay?
It sounded rushed.
It's only a flex if it's good in 24 hours.
100%. Like, okay, I will say Drake has done a diss track in like 24 hours. And when he was going back and forth with, who was the other person he was going? Kendrick Lamar. And those were, all of them, both diss tracks, I felt like were really good, taking hits at each other. We could flex there. But I don't know about this one. I don't know about this one.
No,
Brittany.
Not a flex. And then her final comment was this. Nicki wasn't dissing her dead mother. She said Megan was lying on her dead mother, which she was. And it's so crazy that when females say something, then they get bashed by everyone. But if it was someone like Eminem, then people are like, oh, real rap is back.
I don't know if we should be talking about anyone's dead mom.
Exactly.
I just feel like there's just never a time where we should be talking about someone's dead mom, like in any context.
I think bringing somebody's dead mom into it is just distasteful. And also, I still don't even know what it was in regards to. Like, what was Megan lying about with regards to her dead mother?
I don't know that they even know.
Exactly. I don't know. I just it all just didn't sound great. But as far as to her point about if a man had said it, we'd be like, real rap is back. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Not for that line.
I mean, not this crew. I mean, somebody else, maybe.
Maybe someone else. But you and I, no, that would not have been what we said, particularly with regard to the lyric about the dead mother. And particularly not for this song. Who would call this song real rap? Who?
No, it just felt rushed.
It felt rushed. Nicki has so many good songs, so many good bars, so many good features and verses on other songs. Like, her career is solidified. She truly is, greatest of all time, at least if you're counting awards and, chart toppers and everything else. So no one is taking that away from Nicki. She's a real rapper. Yeah. But this song is not a reflection of that.
Yeah. No. I would argue every song I've ever heard, every verse I've ever heard Nicki Minaj rap, I'm like, wow, this is really good. Except for this one. Except for this. Everything else. This one.
Bigfoot is the exception to the rule. And I just feel like if you're a Nicki stan, that's not the hill to die on. There's so many better hills.
So many better hills. But one thing I will give it is that song became like a TikTok meme where people are like pretending to whisper about people. And that's funny. It became so they got something out of it, but it's not a number one rap. That's not what they got.
That's not what this is. So Brittany, what I take from this is you love Nicki Minaj, and I love that for you. Okay. Yes. If you love her, I love that for you.
Totally.
We don't hate her. I'm pretty sure we said that on the episode.
We don't hate her. And we don't hate
Nicki. And we wish her well.
We do wish her well. I want to be on Nicki Minaj's good side so bad. I promise.
Yeah. We do not hate her. We wish her well, but we think Bigfoot as a song was frankly
just not good.
And we think she does have a tendency to beef with a whole lot of people. But look, who are we? Just
and maybe she's not. We're just two dumb bitches. What do we know? I don't know. Maybe she's not starting beef with everyone. Maybe we're just two dumb bitches. I don't know. But it seems like she is.
From the outside looking in.
Outside looking in.
That's the way it appears, but we could be wrong. Yeah. So thank you, Brittany, for engaging. We appreciate it. And I'll just also drop one more comment on YouTube from Rosa Belair. She says, love the pod. So thank you for that positivity, Rosa.
Thank you, Rosa. You're the one and only people who don't think we're two bitches saying exactly to each other.
All right. So that wraps up the comment section. I guess let's move into some updates. Now, the one update I really did see that you mentioned before we hopped on was that Chapelrone dropped her management.
Yeah.
And then, which in and of itself to me isn't even all that newsworthy. People drop their managers all the time.
Yeah. And there didn't seem to be like a scandal. Or anything.
Right, or at least, nothing scandalous has come out yet. Maybe something will, but it's not like it was like she dropped her manager amidst allegations of sexual assault or something crazy. It's just like, she dropped her management, which in and of itself, I think is not that newsworthy. The thing that made it newsworthy was, one, she did it like right in the midst of Grammy nominations. And of course she was nominated for a bunch of Grammys. So I think some people thought maybe that was a little weird. Like your management clearly helped you get to the point where you're at now to get these Grammys. But then I think the thing that made it even more newsworthy was she was mad that Billboard reported the news. Because Billboard tweeted it out and she replied, y'all suck for this.
Yes. And then I saw on Twitter that someone who worked for Billboard retweeted it and was like, for what? Doing our jobs?
Right.
Like, I don't understand.
Right.
And the part that I'm confused by is I heard, and I don't know if this is true, that she dropped them and that they didn't just like amicably split. And if that's the case, what do you care?
Yeah.
I was so confused.
I think like I guess maybe she wanted to decide how the news would come out, but like
maybe, but that's not part of this.
that's not
Like
really how it
that's
goes.
yeah, you can't control that.
I saw someone with the take that like Chapel really just must think she's not famous because, ma'am, you're famous. Like the things you do are newsworthy.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know.
They're gonna be reported. And it just feels like she's always upset about something. And girl, you got to let it go. Just it's not every battle is worth it.
Yeah, I don't know. And then I heard that this actually happened, and I don't know if there's any truth to this, but some publicists were saying this actually happened before a big music festival in Austin. That they split kind of like back then, so that she could get seen by more people at that festival to possibly and has picked someone else up. But I don't know. I don't know how much truth there is to that. But that's the rumor. So she may already have new management, possibly.
Well, look, I continue to hope that she is happy in her life and in her career, but it does seem like she seems real prickly. She seems real prickly. Something's always upsetting her. And
she seems angry. I don't know. Like I never see something good from her that's like, I'm so excited. Thanks for mentioning me. Like never, never. So maybe sprinkle a little of that in there somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, it does seem like, particularly because like if you look at her TikTok, I think still the most recent videos are the ones where she was yelling at everybody.
Yeah.
So that combined with, yelling at the photographer, and now she's mad at Billboard. It's like, girl, what good has happened? I mean, I don't even think I saw celebration for the multiple Grammy nominations. Like,
right. That's what I'm saying.
This is a big deal. Yeah,
I don't know. I just... So some things I feel like you just have to bite your tongue and move on. And I feel like that was one of them, and she maybe shouldn't have commented. Just say nothing.
Yeah, because it's not weird that a news organization that prints news about music news printed this news about you, a musician. Like there's nothing weird about that.
Especially if it happened a while ago.
Yeah, there's nothing weird about that.
There's nothing strange.
Yeah.
Now, if they were like, Chapelrone split with her manager and her manager hates her, then then I could see where she'd be mad, but they didn't even say anything bad. They were just like, this happened.
Yeah. Good luck to you, Chapelrone. The other thing I will note, just that is Grammy related, is that Beyonce leads the nominations with 11 Grammy nominations.
Love to hear it.
I'm so excited for her. I think she deserves every last nomination. I don't think she should win each of them. I've seen some people be like, and she should win each one. I personally don't think she should win each one. I'm actually going to look up Beyonce's. I'm going to tell you which ones I think she should win. Beyonce's. Okay, here is the list of everything she was nominated for. Record of the Year, Texas Hold'em. Album of the Year for Cowboy Carter. Song of the Year for Texas Hold'em. Best Pop Solo Performance, Bodyguard. Best Pop Duo Performance, Levi's Jeans with Post Malone. Best Melodic Rap Performance, Spaghetti. Best Country Solo Performance, 16 Carriages. Best Country Duo Performance, Two Most Wanted, featuring Miley Cyrus. Best Country Song, Texas Hold'em. Best Country Album, Cowboy Carter. And Best Americana Performance, Yaya. So I'll just say right off the bat, this is a point I saw someone make on TikTok, and I think it's a really good one. Part of the reason Beyonce can even be nominated this many times is because there are so many genres in this album. And that's been true on multiple albums. If you look at Renaissance, it was nominated for pop. It was nominated for dance. It was nominated for R&B. Same with Lemonade. It had nominations in multiple genres. Like, she's doing what a lot of artists can't and don't do, which is create top tier music in multiple genres on a singular album. There just aren't very few people can even dream of doing what Beyonce's doing. So that's part of the reason she has so many nominations.
For sure. Super impressive.
But in terms of what I think she should take home, I actually think now I really enjoy Texas Hold'em, but I don't think it's going to win any of these because in terms of record of the year, I would be shocked if that didn't go to Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter. I
Right.
think
Okay.
that pretty much was the record of the year.
Definitely.
In terms of song of the year, that is a songwriters award. And in my experience, the Grammys love giving that to a song that's written by, just like one or two people. And Texas Hold'em had something like 5 or 6 credited writers on it.
Okay, that's not gonna get it.
So I think that's going to go to Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish.
Oh, okay, yes.
Well, I mean, I don't know, but that's my guess. And then Texas Hold'em is also nominated as Best Country Song. Now, I personally would give it to that because I really didn't listen to any other country songs. But do I think the Grammys are going to give her Best Country Song?
I was about to say, my prediction is I have no faith in humanity. So I'm going to go ahead and say they're not going to give her anything in any country genre. They're going to be like, sorry, that wasn't country enough for us. Because of obvious reasons.
Right, exactly.
Right?
So I would be very surprised. But to me, should she get Best Country Song? Yes, she should.
Yeah, it was great.
The ones I think she 100,000% should get are Album of the Year. I think Cowboy Carter was a masterpiece. It was an instant classic. It was genre bending. It was culturally relevant. It was, to me, a masterpiece. So I do think it should win Album of the Year. I also would love to see Yaya win Best Americana Performance because, I mean, I don't even actually fully know what Americana means. I just assume it means extremely American.
Right.
And that song.
So true. I agree.
I feel like there's nothing more American than that song. I mean, she sampled the Beach Boys. She sampled, what's that song? These Boots Were Made for Walking.
Oh, right.
She had Linda Martell do a feature. Everything about that song to me screamed America. So I would like to see her take that home. And then I would love to see her and Miley take home Best Country Duo Performance.
Yeah.
That song is so
I
good.
would say having Miley on that song might help get a leg up a little bit in the country like genre or whatever, because obviously Miley is a country singer. I don't know. Fingers crossed. I want her to get something country because wasn't she snubbed at the CMAs or whatever? Right?
Yes.
She's got to get something country. This is an outrage.
An outrage. Agreed. So those are the 3 I absolutely think she should take home. Anything else would just be cherry on top. Oh, actually, I didn't mention Best Melodic Rap Performance. I think it has to be Beyonce. Who even else is doing melodic rap?
Wait, I was about to say that next. Name another person. I don't know, because I can't think of a single one. And that's not just like my top genre that I listen to all the time or anything, but I can't think of any.
No, yeah. So those are the 4 I think she should absolutely take home. We'll see. We know that America, and particularly white America, has been very disappointing in the last week, but that's what I would like to see.
Yeah. Brittany, I like Beyonce. I want to let her know that too. I also like Beyonce. I know Brittany's going to come for me.
Brittany, we like Beyonce. Okay. Please. Let us rest.
I also like Chapelrone. Okay. Let us rest.
Let us rest. Well, that brings us to our parking lot where I figured we could just share our feelings. I have to tell you, Erica.
Yeah, tell me.
Man, obviously this has been a tough time for anyone who cares about, I don't know, women, minorities, human rights, whatever. But I feel like one of the things that's been so tough for me is the unpredictability of my feelings, like when I'm going to feel really angry versus really sad versus really dejected and numb. It's like I don't know what I'm waking up to. And that has been really tough. And I went to a friend of mine. She had just like a women's fun little gathering at her house on Saturday. So there were a bunch of us. And I didn't know a lot of the other women. There were like maybe 10 of us. And I only knew her and one other girl. I didn't know anyone else. And all the other women there were white. And, then I'm still raw from the election, and a lot of white women voted for Trump. Okay. So I don't always know what I'm walking into.
Yeah.
But it was lovely. I had a great time. But towards the end, we're all sort of standing around. And mind you, I'd had some drinks. So we're all sort of standing around, and politics comes up. I may have even been the one to bring it up. And what comes out is, everyone voted for Kamala. Thank God. Okay, I'm in the right group of people.
Bullet dodged.
Bullet dodge. But they all sort of mention, not they all, but multiple of them mention that they have people in their lives who did vote for Trump. And I sort of said basically something to the effect of, well, I can't relate. I'm Black. And I think I just was not very gracious in that moment, because they were talking about like, oh, how this is going to be hard over Thanksgiving, or it's always so difficult. And I just think I was somewhat dismissive of that, and like, well, too bad for you. Like, that sucks. I just wasn't as gracious as I could have been. And I felt really bad about it. I actually ended up calling my girlfriend yesterday and apologizing. And she was just like, you don't have anything to apologize for. She's like, we're all so raw right now. And also, like, I appreciated the things you were saying. And so I felt good that she and I were able to have that conversation. Because I've been friends with her for literally a quarter of a century, since 7th grade. So this is someone who means a lot to me. And I didn't want it to seem like I went over to her house and then just dissed all of her homegirls. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, for sure.
I was really feeling bad, but also I feel like that's where I am. I'm just sort of in this unpredictable emotional state where I don't know what the hell might come out, particularly if you add alcohol. So
for sure, yeah.
that's been one of the harder things. Is just like, not only do I feel all these things, but I kind of can't predict which feeling is going to come out at any given moment.
Yeah.
And that's been tough.
I'm lucky that I don't have too many people in my life where I have to have like these political arguments with them, because we are mostly on the same side. Spoiler alert, I'm one of the white people that did not vote for Trump. Okay, so just just to clear that up.
Right.
I know some people are wearing like blue bracelets and shit. I don't have a bracelet, but I definitely voted for Kamala. One thing that is terrible for me is I live in the South. And I feel like for the past week, everyone around me is ecstatic, and I am not. Okay. And then I'm faced with, do I just pretend that I'm not in the worst mood ever, which is impossible. And then I also have to pass like billboards of Trump's face on like my highway, on my exit. I have to pass, like, some of my neighbors have like enormous Trump banners that they personally designed and then staked into the ground. Like, the commitment, they staked that shit down in the ground. And my kids dealing with stuff at school that I'm having to like then explain to like a small child, things that I shouldn't be having to explain to a small child. So I'm going through it living here. And I'm stuck. My husband works here. It's like, what am I going to do? It's like, I'm stuck. But, so yeah, I've been crying. I've been crying. I've been walking to try to, I'm like, fitness has got to help my brain somehow. Like just trying to keep pushing forward and read less stuff online, because also there's a little bit of false hope online, like, oh no, like maybe, like there's votes and we're going to do a recount. And I'm like, baby, we aren't. Like, we're stuck now. Like, and then it's also infuriating to watch some people come to this realization, like, oh, I think we fucked up. It's like, yeah, babe, we're too fucking late to say we fucked up. Okay. And that's infuriating to me, because I'm like, a week ago you could have realized we were fucking up before you fucking voted. So I'm here, and then I'm here, and then I'm here.
Exactly. It's a roller coaster of emotions. And it's funny, I was talking to my sister yesterday, and she was saying, my older sister who has 3 kids, she was saying how it actually hurt worse for her in 2016 than it does now, because in 2016 she just thought there was no way Trump could win. And of course, this time we all knew it was a possibility. But I almost was the exact opposite. As
Me
much as
too.
it hurt in 2016, it hurt worse this time because I naively thought, given that we all know now what a Trump presidency could look like, people will come to their senses. Whereas before, people, all they knew was like some of the shit he was saying. They didn't actually know how bad it would get. But it's like, now we know.
Yes.
So I thought that, combined with just all of the excitement and the fact that Kamala raised $1 billion and everything else, I honestly thought it couldn't, like, oh, it can't go that way this time. And then that, plus now I'm a mom and I wasn't in 2016. So I'm seeing all of this from the perspective of, what is this world going to be like for my daughter to grow up in?
100%.
It makes it so much worse. So I think it's hit me. Like, I feel like last time, as hard as it hit me, I feel like the recovery was a bit easier and maybe a bit more accelerated. Whereas this time, I just feel like this, like, ton of bricks is on me and it's not coming off. It's just been terrible.
Yeah, we're in a similar position. I also was not a mom in 2016, so I don't know, after that election, first of all, I didn't really think Hillary Clinton was like a shoo-in. Like, I thought it was going to be a tight race. So like, when he won, first of all, I was shocked that he won, because I was like, there's no way they're going to let him win. Like, there's no way they're going to let this happen to us, right? But then when he won, I was kind of like, okay, well, it's 4 years. Like, we're going to get through it. It's going to be, I didn't think it was going to be as bad as it was. It was. We all watched it happen. I think it also hurts harder this time around because it kind of feels like it's the end. Like, it's the end of our democracy, or like it's the end of our rights for women. It just feels like something's going to happen and it's going to be terrible. And we might be the ones trying to get out of here, not them throwing people out. That's the vibe that it feels like. And it's terrifying.
It's very much the vibe, but also it feels like the end because the things that they have said in Project 2025, they've made it clear they want it to be the end.
Yeah.
They want to put a national abortion ban in place. They want to completely get rid of the Department of Education.
Yeah, that's scary.
They want to make over 10,000 of the current roles in government, or not in government, but federal roles. They want to make them appointed.
Yeah,
when they currently aren't appointed. So that means giving Donald Trump complete control over literally every aspect, every federal agency, like, this is what they want to do. And if they manage to do it, then in a lot of ways, it is the end of our democracy. And so that fear is very real. And anyone trying to say that it's not real, or saying that we're being hyperbolic, like, no, fuck you. I know how to read.
Right.
And I know how to listen. And I hear what they've been saying. And I'm reacting to what they've literally been saying.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's very scary.
And he's scary. Like, him being in office is a scary thing. But I almost feel like it's scarier who he surrounds himself with. And he seems so easily manipulated by these people. And then I'm seeing real scary stuff, which is why I have to close my phone sometimes, like, about Russia saying, like, we helped you and now you owe us. And, they're teaming up with 3 other countries who hate us. Like, what's next for us? It's just terrifying. And I'm like, where's the exit plan? What country can I go to? What skills am I going to need? Like, what extra degrees should I be getting right now? Because we aren't going to last here.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I am renewing my passport right now. So is my husband. We're getting one for my daughter. I'm making sure everyone in my family, my mom, my sisters, all of our passports are up to date. And just because, and if that sounds like I'm doing too much, maybe I am. I hope I am.
I already did it.
But
I already did it. I already researched what skills other countries want from American people. I'm getting ready, because if I gotta leave, I'm out of here.
Exactly.
And if you don't, if you think I'm overreacting, then you can stay here by yourself. That's the take I'm going to take from now on. And I think people are cutting out some of their family members, and people are getting upset about that. And I'm just like, you can't be upset about that. You did this to us.
Exactly.
I am done caring about everybody's feelings.
No, same. You clearly don't care about mine, so I don't know why I would be caring about y'all. No, if we are overreacting, like, honestly, I hope I am, but
same.
I would much rather be prepared.
Same.
and overreacting than unprepared to find out, oh shit, you should have been reacting.
Yes. I mean, I hope that in 4 years, people are laughing at me for my overreactions. Oh, how silly was Erica? She went and got herself an extra certification to go work out of the country. Like, she applied for a visa, that silly bitch. I hope so.
That silly bitch.
Bitch.
Let's hope to God that we are, instead of being dumb bitches, we're silly bitches. Yeah. But I'd rather that than it turn out that I underreacted.
Totally.
Okay? Like, oh my God, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Ooh, could have got that passport, but I didn't. I
Right?
didn't think I'd need it. And now it turns out Trump has closed the office that approves the passports.
Yeah.
So...
Well, exactly. And now they're also like, oh, you know how we said we were going to deport everyone? Silly. That actually would be expensive. We're going to do prison camps. What?
Yeah.
That shit is scaring me.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said something the other day about like, oh, woke liberal Marxists, fascists are going to go with them into the camps. I'm like, great. So I'm going to be there too. Like, we're all going. We're all going.
That's the thing. So many of these people who voted for Trump, particularly the Latinos who voted for Trump, everybody is out here thinking that they are the exception.
Yeah.
You're not the exception.
I literally saw someone say, but he's not going to deport me because he likes hardworking family men. And I'm like, that's not how this works. He's going to deport you too.
He's going to deport you too. The gay people who voted for Trump were like, yeah, but I'm not a flamboyant gay. Not sure that's how that works.
That's not how this works, you guys. Like, I swear. It's crazy. And there's no critical thinking.
No, I saw someone who said, my son is gay, but he and I both voted for Trump because he's not trans. Nah, like, what are we?
Oh my gosh. I need people to be on a higher reading level than 4th and 5th grade. Like, that is so detrimental. It's crazy.
They literally say in Project 2025 that they want to end marriage equality. So your gay son and his gay husband voted for Trump. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I also think people are underestimating what the Department of Education does, because the Department 100%. Of Education is literally funding special ed. And if you have a kid that's in special ed, that's not going to be a thing anymore.
And they also fund Pell Grants. So if you're someone who got a Pell Grant for college, all of those college grants, that comes from the Department of Education.
Department of Education is why we have women's sports, girls' sports in school. You're worried about other boys going into girls' sports. There isn't going to be girls' sports, guys.
Nope.
It's not going to be a thing.
Nope.
But, no critical thinking. And so this is why we're in this position, and it's scary.
Yeah, it's terrifying. It's terrifying. So I would say do all the things to prep and do all the things to keep your loved ones near and keep them informed and to stay safe. Like, at this point, the goal is safety and security.
Yeah.
And survival. And it sucks to have to be in survival mode for 4 years. That was one of the reasons it felt so good when Biden got elected. It felt like
I agree.
We could all breathe a sigh of relief.
Totally. When Biden got elected, I felt like, I wasn't as anxious for 4 years. 100%. And now we're going back to that. And I'm like, great, get the CBD out, because I'm about to be anxious again for 4 years straight.
For 4 years. And by the way, chronic anxiety, chronic stress kills people.
Yeah, totally.
It's not a joke, particularly Black communities, like minority communities. Chronic stress kills. So this is dangerous on every level. Level. And I'm just, so it's been tough, because even in the midst of all that, I've still got to take care of my kid. I've still got to make money. Still got to put food on the table.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still trying to find some joy, because life isn't worth living if you can't find the joy in things.
Yeah, the day after, when I got on live and everybody was like all upset, I was telling my followers, like, we have to push forward. And I think if I can say one thing, it would be to keep making money and hoarding that money away, because it's going to, it could be put us in a position where women aren't going to have rights to do what they, get healthcare and stuff, unless you have money. So start making money now. Start saving it.
Exactly right. Start saving it and putting it in multiple accounts. Don't have it all in one place, because if these banks start failing,
then what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? So have
diversify
it spread out.
It. Yeah.
I mean, truly, the things we're going to have to think about that we weren't going to have to think about under Kamala.
Oh my
It's just really terrifying.
The stock market did great the next day, and I would literally open up my account and cry. My stocks were doing good, and I was like crying over it. My husband's like, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, "Because it's like so painful to watch that this is what is helping grow our economy. Like, what is going on?"
Yeah,
it was just so many horrible emotions.
Well, a lot of these Fortune 500 CEOs and guys voted for Trump because of what they think he's going to do for the economy. So, yeah, I'm sure there is going to be a momentary bump. But if he starts doing all of the things he's talking about doing,
it's going to come right down.
It's going to come right down.
They don't understand.
It's really just short-sighted thinking.
It is. It's that no one's thinking ahead.
It's very
and that's I think why I start getting angry and I start getting upset is it feels like I'm screaming and nobody's listening. You know?
Yeah, it feels like you're screaming into a void. And no, it's terrible. I will say, to not, I guess, end on such a sad note, that I'm grateful for the people that I do have and the communities that I do have that I know are safe spaces and that I know are supportive. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for this podcast.
Yeah, I am too. So thankful.
I'm thankful for, my TikTok community, although I have found I've needed to put TikTok down a few times just because the constant doom and gloom is tough. But
totally. My FYP was rough this week.
Yeah, it was rough. But I am grateful. And I guess my advice to any of our listeners would be to really surround yourself with people who love you and support you, and to remove yourself from people who don't. Like, there's simply no time to be around people who really do not support you and lift you up. And I know that's actually a take I've seen a lot of people disagree with, particularly for white people. I've seen a lot of people say, like, white people, don't remove yourself from, the Trump supporters in your life. Like, it's your responsibility to talk to them and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I do understand that take. Like,
we tried that.
Got to try. But at the same time, like, you can't, I don't agree with sacrificing your own mental and emotional stability.
How long can we try that and have it not work for us to keep doing that every day?
Yeah.
It's not like we haven't given it a shot.
Exactly. And especially it's the everyday part. Like, I don't know, maybe y'all got to take shifts. You know what I'm saying? Like,
for real.
Maybe y'all got to tap in, for a week. Every 6 weeks, you take a week. And you're like, all right, fine. I'll try this week with, Aunt Esther. And then it's like, you got to pass it to somebody else because that's too much.
No, it's so true. I'm done trying to convince people because there's no convincing. They're stuck in their ways and that's it. And there's nothing you can do.
I mean, at this point, we have to take care of ourselves.
Yeah, I'm not wasting my energy on that shit. It's just not happening anymore. And to that, I also, all of what you said. And then in addition to that, I think we need to push through with our day-to-day, be making money, and just surround yourself with positive people. That's all we can do at this point is take it day by day and see where we're at. If we continue to keep worrying about what the next 4 years is going to be, that's just going to be continuous stress on our lives. Let's wait until it happens, and then we can dissect it and we can worry about it in the moment, because otherwise we're going to be a nervous wreck for 4 years, and it's just going to be bad for our health.
100%. I can't live in extreme anxiety 24/7. Like, it actually is not sustainable.
No, it's not.
I agree. Surround yourself with positive people who love you, people who support you, people you love and support, family who you can trust.
Yeah. And AOC has been saying, like, put yourself into your community. I agree with that as well. Volunteer in your community. I think that's going to be really helpful. We could try to change things on a local level. It's not going to obviously fix the problem, but it does feel good to help people. So
it does. Absolutely. Well,
that
felt like a little bit of therapy.
I know. And that's it for this week, everyone. Be sure to follow us on TikTok at 2 Queens, 2 Crowns, and to check out the podcast on YouTube, 2 Queens, 2 Crowns.
Erica and I would also love for you to follow us on our personal socials. I'm on TikTok at @IM_KJ Miller and YouTube with the handle IamKJ Miller. And Erica's on IG at Let a Bee Know and TikTok at Let a Bitch Know. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.